Okay.
Two beautiful faces.
Yay. Okay. Well, let's just stay put with the group then, because I like this group. I'm just looking for my notes. Sorry, give me a quick second. If somebody has them available, feel free to jump in and kick us off while I look for them. Oh, I found them. Okay. Sorry, letting more people in. All right. So this chapter is all about habits. For those of you that read it, who wants to define what a habit is? I know it seems like common sense, but Dr. A's definition of a habit, how would you describe that?
It's frequent repetition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Frequent repetition, which could be good and bad, right? Depending on the habit we're creating, potentially. Right. What were some of your biggest takeaways on habit as it relates to habits? I know this was really eye-opening for me, even the first time I read it, just even in terms of how long it takes to create a habit. But was there anything specific that stood out to you guys in your journey in creating new ones?
I can say, can you hear me?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, okay. I can say that one of the things that, had to become a habit to me when I first joined was getting used to eating every 2 to 3 hours. And so that was something that I had to work on. And I was surprised when I was reading this today that, the average person checks their phone, what does it say, 34 times a day on average, but they think it's double that or triple that, but within 15 minutes of waking up, and how many things do you think of when you first wake up in the morning? So that was kind of, shocking to me.
That's a good takeaway. And I'm curious for you, as you were building that habit, and maybe you still are building the habit of eating every 2 to 3 hours, what have you found to really help you?
The timer, my phone helps me, because it gives me an alarm, so that's what had to do it, and actually in the past couple of months, my husband has started to say, is it time for you to eat? Or, things like that, which, he never did that before. So
I love that. You have a support partner at home to remind you just in case.
Right.
I think that's great. And it's interesting that you mentioned the phone thing, right? We can create that habit really easily of checking our phones and our notifications, but somehow building in healthy habits is such a challenge for us. Yeah. That's good. Who else had some good takeaways about habits?
I thought it was pretty interesting how, he's initially talking about how we're just kind of automatic, it's autopilot, and that can be good and bad. But that Vince Lombardi at the beginning of every season would walk into the locker room every time and look at every single player and go, this is a football, and start from scratch, because we need to treat ourselves and other people and remember that all of our experiences are different, and something that we may know, it may or may not be correct. And so giving ourselves the the grace, but also the potential to truly grow and learn something new by letting it go when we're starting these, and just really going back to square one and being I don't know, let's learn it.
Yeah. And I was really surprised by how long it takes to create a habit. I mean, there's so many different numbers that have floated around, right? Where he said on average it's 66, and he put that into perspective of why it's 66. Some are easier, some are harder to instill. But it's hard, you guys. I mean, how many of you struggle with bad habits right now? And what are those bad habits that you're trying to break? I won't start because I have a long list. I know, but so I'll let you guys start. What are some habits, even if you've broken them, even before program, what were you trying to stop doing?
I'm trying to stop sleeping in.
Ooh, that's a
Past
good
the
one.
alarm, I should say. I don't necessarily get up late anymore, but so I'm improving, but getting up when the alarm goes off instead of hitting snooze over and over again, disturbing the wife, child, dog.
Well, I think the key thing that has really helped us there is like me challenging, well, what's your nighttime routine, and going to that element, and because we could outline a morning routine, but if we're not supporting the nighttime routine, then the morning routine is shot before you even get a chance to do it. And so one of the things in this chapter that it talked about was shifting your focus from the problem and into the healthy habit that you want to do. And so like even the negative self-talk of that particular example of like hitting snooze and then being really angry at yourself, which is an emotional response, right? How do you shift the focus to the healthy habit of an outcome the night before so that you're preparing your mind and your body for the morning habit that you want to achieve?
Ooh, that's an awesome takeaway. And recognizing that one supports the other one. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I too have that problem. I like the snooze button. I'm like, oh, 5 more minutes. Those 5 minutes don't do anything in reality. Anyone else have some bad habits that they're currently working on or that they have worked on through the program?
Emotional eating. When I get upset.
Talk to us more about that.
No, just when I get upset or frustrated at stuff, I'm a snacker. So I will snack and snack. Like I was talking about Cheez-Its today and how tasty those would be right now. And just, I work at a hospital. And I also work on the same floor as the chow hall. So the smells of food as well it can lure me in. But
yeah, I can see that for sure.
But not bringing my debit card to work also has helped with that habit. So I can smell, but I can't buy anything.
Okay, so I'm really curious then, Sarah, what do you do like if you need to get gas on the way home or like something pops up? Like, do you have cash on hand or how do you handle that?
So I keep my debit cards in my car. It's locked up. I don't want to walk out in 6-degree weather right now to go get my debit card to be able to go get unhealthy food. So it's there if I need it, but I don't bring it into work with me.
That is brilliant.
That's preparing your environment for success.
Right. And I haven't gotten to that element yet. So maybe I should to ponder over there.
Yeah, you got a head start on that. That's a great tip. So yeah, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Who else struggles with something? Maybe not even food related. That's just a bad habit you're trying to break.
I have a terrible habit of not putting things away.
Like laundry? Because I don't think that counts for us. I'm just saying.
It's totally laundry also. Like it's everything. I just live in, I think, clutter, and I think it's been ingrained in my brain since childhood because I lived in clutter in my, with my parents, and it just came with me. So I want to kind of clear out all of that garbage in my mind so that I can clear out the garbage in my surroundings.
Oh, that's good. How are you going to work on that?
One room at a time. Baby steps.
Where do you live, Jennifer?
I'm in the Seattle area.
Okay, homie, I'm in Tacoma. So
I'm in Auburn.
I don't know if you are a neurodivergent fellow participant, but we have a real hard time with, it's okay, typical. You can actually do the organization because my brain pattern does not. But I'll help with your clutter if you come help with mine.
Girl, I'm on it.
I'm not a
community support. Look at that.
Let's throw it away.
I don't mind doing other people's clutter. It's my own. I can't do it.
So funny how our brains work. I love that. We have community support already. So good. What else? What are some other things? Or even like relationship communication. Is there anything maybe people have bad habits with that they want to work on?
I do, but I don't want to speak to that. I'm gonna yeah. Get there. Yeah. Anyways, no, I kind of wanted to speak to what Lance was saying. I've noticed, gosh, it's been the last 3 months or so. About 3 months that I have been extending my nights. So I'm, before my light switch got turned off at like 10 o'clock, literally my husband used to say all the time, it's like somebody came up to you and just goes, floop, because I'm out, right? But for whatever reason, I pushed past that. And so now my days are really, really long. And I notice that I'm having that hard time getting up in the morning. But I'm shortening my sleep period, which for me is a huge, big impact on so many things when I'm sleep deprived. So case in point, I almost forgot my son today, picking him up from school. And I blame lack of sleep because I was all over the place today. So really working on trying to get back into my twilight time. I had a really good routine, a twilight routine. And I totally have like I loved prepping my coffee for the morning so that I literally just had to flip my boiler on. And I haven't done that in like weeks. And it makes me angry every time I go and I have to make coffee because I didn't set myself up for success. So yeah, that's my biggest habit that I need to work on now.
That's a good one. How about you, Sandra? I love when you share. What's a bad habit that you're trying to break?
Okay. Well, the eating, trying to get in all of my fuelings, there are times that I am missing 1 or 2 a day. And it's just continually happening. And I've got to break that habit because I know that's not helping me at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in this element, he actually talks a lot about like how to install new habits. What's something that you could do to help with that? Because I know you're not the only one. In fact, I think Teresa just commented in the chat that she struggles with that too.
Everybody talks about that they have an app on their phone that sets an alarm. I haven't been able to find something like that on my phone. And it was like, if I could do it where I set it like at 7 o'clock and then again at 10 and just have it to where it actually goes off. And I don't care if somebody hears it in the office. It's like, it's my reminder. I need to get this in my body.
Yeah, we have a good app for you. So write this down if you have a pen. It's called EatWise. The great thing about EatWise is you can plug in the time of your first meal. So when you set up the app, it'll ask you, how frequently do you want to eat? And you could put in 2.5, 3 hours, whatever works for you. And you put the time of your first meal and it automatically adjusts the rest of your day and it'll prompt you throughout the day when it's time to eat. So that is one of the best apps out there if you're looking for an alarm type system.
That is wonderful. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And it's free. So who doesn't like free, right?
Wow.
EatWise.
Wow.
Yeah, EatWise is great. I mean, the Habits of Health app's phenomenal for different reasons, but it doesn't necessarily allow you to adjust the time. And so if you're looking for something like that, where you may eat at different times from the weekday versus the weekends, the EatWise app automatically adjusts based on your first meal of the day that you enter. So it's really user-friendly too.
Love that.
I just use the phone on my phone and my alarms.
That works too. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Coworkers hate it though. I leave.
They'll get to know.
I leave my office and then it goes off. It always happens.
I love it. How about you, Teresa? Any habits that you're trying to break or new ones that you're trying to instill?
Which Teresa?
Surprise me.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm the iPhone Teresa because I don't know how to put my last name in once I signed up in Zoom. So mine is I love ice cream. And I know I have an ice cream maker, you know, the Dash one, but I've never used it. And those chocolate covered ice creams from Dairy Queen, I tell you, their machine is broken in my head so many times, it's not funny. And then I have to drive by a McDonald's and I have to tell me that machine is broken too. And so I think I'm doing ill will on the businesses, but that's the only way I can get by them on the road is to tell myself that they're broken. And, you know, it's just so easy that I just want it. I don't know why. And that's my thing that I'm working on is those little things that trigger me. And I need to get them out of my life. For right
I love
now.
that. No, for sure. Ice cream is so my kryptonite, Teresa. It's like I could eat it all year round and not even feel guilty about it. So I get that. But I love that you're tricking your brain in the sense that you're telling it like, no, it's shut down. Like it's not working. There's no point in going through the drive-through. And you touched a little bit on like the habit part of it. Cause on page 107, he talks about the cue, the routine and the reward, right? Like there's something that we are hoping to get out of eating the ice cream, or for some people it's smoking the cigarette, right? Or doing something different. Like that's just out of habit and they feel a certain way after they do that one specific task. So finding a different type of reward every time that cue happens, changing the outcome, obviously. And it's easier said than done, but does anyone have a really good example of the cue, routine, and reward and how you maybe shifted your habit as a result?
I have one small thing. It was a big thing to me. I had gone out to lunch with my son and he wanted to go to this restaurant that was like a taco restaurant. And I saw that they had, I'm looking all through it and I'm saying, oh, geez, I can't, it was last minute and I couldn't prepare or anything. So I found on it that they had cauliflower and it was wrapped in bib lettuce and they called it a taco and they had some spices on it. And so I took that and I went home and I bought bib lettuce and the leaves, and I had decided to use those in place of because I'm not eating bread or anything like that, but and so that was a big thing for me to find that I could use the bib lettuce as a holder or something like that,
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's a great substitute for a lot of things, not just tacos.
Yeah, and I felt good about it afterward too,
That's the best part, right? Is you could replace a habit with a good one and not feel guilty about it. I mean, 9 times out of 10, if not 10 out of 10, you're going to walk away feeling really proud of yourself because you're doing something to move your health forward or whatever other habit it is that you're trying to enforce. So that's a great example. Anyone else have a really good example of that as well?
I'm finding that I've gotten into the habit of no longer measuring my food. I mean, I dropped the weight. I measured like I was some kind of a left brain geek, and I'm extremely right brain. So, this has been a challenge. And then I got down to the 132 and it was kumbaya. And so little by little, I went back to the old behaviors. But the reward sucks because I put 8 pounds on. So I just, Teresa is one of my clients that just spoke a minute ago, and she and I have created a dual loop reward project for next week. And mine is to dust off my scale, literally, and stick it right where I cook, not over hidden under everything else, because I'm a visual. And start as though I am brand new and I know nothing other than measure and weigh, measure and weigh. Because my brain was justifying, but this is a chicken Caesar salad. Yeah, but how much chicken did I stick in that? how much dressing did I put on it? And I realized I was using my husband's spices. That's a whole lot of salt that I hadn't been using. And it was all that old behavior that didn't reward me then. And man, it's trying to suck me down the hole again. And I'm like, no, no, no. So tonight I am on board with measuring cups and my scale and starting brand new.
Good for you. Yeah, that's also a really good example of how quickly some old habits can slip back in when we're not ready for them.
Yeah. I justified because it was programmed food, if you will. I wasn't, taking the gallon of ice cream, which it could have just as easily been, but the justification is different. And I fell for it.
Everything we put in our mouth has some type of calorie attached to it, even the healthy stuff, right? Everything in moderation.
Yeah.
No, I love it. Anyone else have good examples of that? Maybe even how you've retracted and maybe gone back to old habits and how you're fighting that.
I don't know if this is right, and you can just tell me because I do this one emotionally. So the cue for me is that, and I installed this, it's kind of a backwards install habit. So it replaced a bad habit with a good one. So the cue is I go up like emotionally and get frustrated. My routine is now that I look inside and see what I need to learn from myself. And then the reward is that I don't have to apologize to people for crappy behavior I haven't committed. And yeah, that has been really helpful for me that I could take this and apply it to healthier relationships in my life as well.
Oh, that's a perfect example. And it's not just food, right? It's relationships, it's communication, it's the things we do at our job, right? Like this ties into everything. If you guys haven't noticed, even the life book has more to do with just food. And so the fact that you can use this example and provide that one is fantastic. So thanks, Kat. I love that. Anyone else have some good ones? What's one habit that you maybe aren't working on yet, but that it's really on your heart that you want to make a change with it, but you're just not quite sure how to start yet?
Mine's my phone. I think I'm always checking it. I'm probably way past the amount that's in there. I think I'm looking at my phone every 5 to 10 minutes. It's crazy. So I'm really trying to set times that I check my phone, and they talk about it, set your phone aside, set times that you're going to look at your face. And I think part of it is now that I'm doing the coaching and I'm on social media a lot, I have to set some boundaries.
Oh, that's so good. Those boundaries are really healthy. And if we were all being really honest on the phone call, it's probably something that the vast majority of us really struggle with.
And that's, with the social media, and then also just making time for family. So just setting those boundaries for coaching.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. Who else is struggling with one?
Me, and this is a topic we just brought up today. I have a really bad habit of thinking I need to do things on my own and not using my resources, my coaches, AKA. I am terrible at it. I struggled this weekend, and instead of reaching out and just saying, help me, and throwing out the white flag, I, felt a ton of emotions that weren't really fair to myself. And so that's something that I need to work on. And I sent my coach a message earlier that said, okay, I'm going to stop this. I'm going to work on stopping this. So that's what I need to do.
That is so hard. Some of it's ego, right? Guilty of it. We don't want to ask for help. It makes us sometimes feel like we're failing, but that's what we're here for. We all have coaches on here. And if we're not utilizing them, we're missing out on one of the quadrants of the program. So yeah, that's a good reminder. Thanks, Misty. Anyone else want to share before we wrap up? What's one thing that we can help you with this week that maybe you don't know how to get started on? Somebody said water. Teresa, the struggle is real some days, especially when the weather is not warm. I struggle. Morgan says I struggle. Oh, go ahead.
I count to 8 when I take a drink of water. So when I have my big water bottle, I count to 8, and that really helps me, especially get to the gallon. the water.
Oh, that's so good. I've never heard that tip before. That's a really good one.
My boss showed it to me. He's like, count to 8 when you're chugging your water. I'm like, oh, okay. And it actually works.
That's awesome. Morgan said, I struggle with doing my dishes every night. One thing that has helped me is realizing how long something takes. My wife would make a deal. If I take out the dog at night, she would do the dishes. And I realized it took less time to do the dishes. So now I feel like, okay, it's not a big deal to do them. That is a really cool realization, Morgan. I love that you shared that, because you're right. Sometimes it makes us seem like, oh, this is so long, it's going to take forever, until like what takes forever is the fact that we're complaining about it, right? Guilty of it as well, versus just doing the task and getting it over with. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. All right, you guys. Well, before we wrap up, we have 1 minute. I know Misty prepared the wheel, so I'm going to have Misty see who the raffle winners are tonight. This is really good. And for those of you who didn't share, I do encourage you, think of the one habit that you want to really work on it. I mean, it's not going to happen overnight. I really resonate with Tabby and the whole phone thing and making sure we have boundaries with it and whatnot. So, that's one that's really heavy for me too. So think about what that habit is for you guys for this week and start working on it. Doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. Keep that in mind too. All right, Misty, give us a spin when you have a chance.
All right.
If you have it up.
I'm trying to do share screen. Are you seeing my spin?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, here we go. And pay attention to the names in there because I don't know everybody's names. So who do we have?
Tabby. No.
Oh, so close. Jennifer. Yay.
Woo!
Thanks.
Congratulations. And here we go again. Number 2. Let's see.
Oh,
Sarah.
Yay.
Congrats, Sarah.
Okay, what does this mean?
It means you get a $25 wellness credit for participating tonight.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Thank you.
Congrats. You're welcome. Yay. Awesome, you guys. Well, thanks for joining in. This is habits I feel like we could talk about forever, the pros, the cons, etc. So look forward to hearing what you guys tackle this week. And if there is a habit that you're working on, talk to your coaches about it so they can help with that accountability. Like Misty said, you don't have to do this alone. It's something I'll be doing too. So have a fantastic night and we'll see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.